Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, has delivered one of the strongest statements yet about the country's confrontation with the West, declaring that Iran is now engaged in a full-scale war with the United States, Israel, and Europe.
I hope they're not trying to build up again, because if they are, we're going to have no choice but very quickly to eradicate that buildup. So I hope Iran is not trying to build up, as I've been reading that they're building up weapons and other things. And if they are, they're not using the sites that we obliterated, but they're using possibly different sites.
Iran, as well as Hamas, was top of the list on the agenda when Prime Minister Netanyahu visited Mar-a-Lago yesterday.
We talked about Hamas and we talked about disarmament, and they're going to be given a very short period of time to disarm. If they don't disarm, as they agreed to do, they agreed to it, and then they'll be held to pay.
In this hour with President Trump now threatening possible military action against Iran as protesters there break out over the country's worsening economic conditions. Thousands of people took to the streets after the value of Iran's currency fell to a record low on Sunday. At least 7 people have been killed so far in the unrest. The president wrote in part on Truth Social today, quote, "If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go."
Mass protests in Iran now entering a 6th day in a row. Thousands are taking to the streets over a spiraling economic crisis there. President Trump, meantime, posting a stark warning to Iran's leadership early this morning, saying if the regime kills peaceful protesters, the U.S. would intervene, and that American forces are locked and loaded.
At least 6 people have been reportedly killed in the protests this week. It started among shopkeepers and merchants in Tehran's Grand Bazaar. Students have now taken to the streets with truckers and bus drivers, protesting runaway inflation, a currency that has lost 40% of its value since Israel launched its 12-day war against Iran, supported by those American B-2 bombers, stealth fighter jets, and Tomahawk cruise missiles from the guided missile submarine USS Georgia. Iran's Secretary of its National Security Council responding to Trump in a post of his own, saying, quote, "Trump should know that American interference in this internal issue is equivalent to chaos."
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. They've got a lot of problems that are in. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people.